What is going on, y'all? Gamers Goon here today with your Survivor Episode 9 recap video. Yet another good episode of Survivor. We started off this episode with Shaheen talking about the Chrissy vote out from last week. Says Chrissy went out because Chrissy was throwing out Shaheen's name. Shaheen's like, my group's got me, but they got me on paper. Do they really got my back? He was a little bit skeptical that maybe people were throwing his name around, and he was right. David then tells, and I forgot once again to do, I realized last week that I didn't do I did rank them, but I never did it during the video. But David tells Camilla, hey, just to be transparent with you, like, I floated your name out there, so if anybody comes telling you, like, this is me, man to woman, like, right now, just saying, hey, I did that, so maybe that could save him a little bit, in terms of, Camilla. Camilla's like, yeah, David's dead to me. I don't want to play the game with David. David, to me, is just not somebody I really want to work with. David is obviously throwing Camilla's name out at this point. But also, David has proven to be a big-time threat here post-merge, kind of trying to run the show. So, David, for now, is somebody that you don't want if you're Camilla. David then says he is really sus on Kyle and Camilla. He wants to get to the bottom of why Kyle was so anti-voting Camilla out. And then we get back from commercial now, and we see the Strong Five plus Mary. They said they all feel good. Kyle agrees. I didn't really think Kyle was agreeing, and I was right. Eva said she doesn't care who goes as long as it's not her group. She really wants to stick with the 6. So they all agree on Camilla here. I didn't really think that's the plan, though. I think that was more so just appeasing David in the moment. Kyle then says he realizes Mary and David are tight. Kyle then tells Shaheen that David thought Shaheen was with Camilla. So this gets Shaheen going up on David. Kyle gets him on board with a potential Mary vote out. And then David, we get immediately real good sense of the game. He's like, something's off with those two. Like, they're going to flip on me and Mary. I can feel it. Eva thinks David and Mary are being paranoid about a potential flip. Eva just wants them all to get along. David and Kyle, they try to patch it up. They're like, hey, we're good, right? Yeah, we're good. Yeah, but Kyle still wants both of them out. He said, we need to get Mary out, and then David not too far after. We can't have David being here when he's trying to control this game and he's trying to be pushy with the votes. That's basically where Kyle was getting at. Then we get back from commercial yet again. Eva, during her advantage search, obviously we talked about that advantage that she got. She had to go search for... look for the fire on the end of the beach while everybody was asleep. Well, she did that. Shaheen woke up and he kind of rats on Eva. He tells Joe, like, hey, Eva left, so, like, be aware. Joe's like, I'm not worried. Goes back to sleep. It's not his thing. Eva, though, when she gets there, it is an extra vote, or you can risk it for safety without power, or you just get your extra vote taken away, you leave with nothing. She risks the vote, she does get safety without power. She could risk it again and get a full-blown idol, and this, to me, I didn't really see the need for it, because if you think that, hey, I might need to play my idol, I'm just not going to sit through the tribal. That's the same thing as an idol. I don't have to vote. I can just leave. So basically she has 2 idols anyways. For me at least, that's kind of the way I look at it. I would just, you know what, it probably makes some people mad, but I'm just gonna walk out of tribal. And I wrote, nope, do not do it. Do not do it, Eva. do the no risk option. She didn't risk it. Good for her. She gets the safety without power. She didn't do the extra risk there to get a full-blown idol. Then the next morning, Eva tells Shaheen, Joe, and Kyle. Joe's like, I knew I could trust my girl Eva. Yeah, I was not worried here about Eva in terms of at least telling Joe. I mean, I'm kind of shocked she told Shaheen and Kyle, but I think that's really good because Shaheen's like, she's dangerous to win this game, but I'm not gunning for Eva. Like, I trust her. I want to work with her. Like, I'm not targeting Eva here. So I think Shaheen and Eva will be good to go. Shaheen said he trusts her now. Kyle then goes, and Kyle's kind of the one here that could ruin things for Eva and company, and a lot of people actually. Kyle then goes to Camilla, ratting out the David and Mary are targeting them, or at least Camilla tells Camilla about the Eva reward. Camilla's having to do no work and knows all this stuff. Camilla, I'm telling you, if she gets to the end, she's going to win. She has put in like zero work in terms of infiltrating this alliance. That has all been Kyle. She's getting all the information and she's making some smart decisions behind Kyle. And she might get more credit than Kyle, because I don't know if Kyle's going to get all the way to the end. But anyways, Kyle tries to kind of plant a seed in Joe's head that they need to go towards David. David kind of interrupts, thinks, hey, maybe I should just interrupt here. David thinks that Kyle, Shaheen, and Camilla are a trio. But Joe trusts David still. So even though there's all this confusion between David and Kyle, Joe's like, I trust him. I don't really trust David, because there was a point where David's like, hey, you went back on your word, and Joe's like, man, you're not going to tell me I went back on my word. That's not going to happen. That's not what we're doing here. We do get a nice little moment of Star practicing swimming with Mitch. We haven't really seen Mitch bond too much with anybody here, but Mitch kind of coaching Star through swimming. She hasn't swam in the past. Maybe get a little nugget here for season 50. She says the next time that Jeff calls, she will be a pro at swimming. She's going to take swimming lessons. Hey, season 50 is right around the corner. We'll see if Star does it. Kyle then opens up to Joe about David's aggressiveness in the last day or so. He had some... He went through a troublesome time of his life. He spent some time in jail. He opened up to Joe about it, or prison or whatever. But Joe tells, like, he could tell, like, Kyle's really opening up to him. Joe here, Joe has been, if you have something that you need to tell somebody, like in this game that you're dealing with, or something that you're struggling with, Joe's the guy to go to, because Joe is real supportive. He really acts like a dad. He's just there to give you a hand on the back and say, hey man, it's gonna be all right. Like, I understand what you're going through right now. I can see how it's coming off. That makes sense. Like, yeah. Joe then's like, you know what, that comment with David didn't really settle with me. Kyle having some problems with David's not settling well with me. Let me go to Eva. I'm going to talk to Eva about David. I know Eva likes David, but I'm going to go talk to her. Eva said she kind of just wants to bridge the gap between the two. She doesn't want to really turn on anybody. So Eva kind of playing in the middle. Joe kind of toying with the idea of not. Let me get to the challenge. The challenge, you hold a handle, and there is a ball stuck between kind of this, I guess it's like a chute, and the top. You got to hold it, and if you let go, the ball rolls down. You got to hold it up as much as you can. The reward here would be ham and cheese wraps, crackers, peach cobbler, chocolate strawberries. Good reward here. So we get to the challenge. Star out, Mary out, Camilla out, Mitch out. Mitch just looked defeated when he got out. Eva, Shaheen, Kyle, You had Joe and you had David. They stuck around for a little bit. Eva and Shaheen dropped out. Then Kyle. And then we got, once again, a Joe and David showdown. And believe it or not, Joe was struggling. He was really struggling. And then out of nowhere, David's legs gave out and he lost. He lost. Everybody was shocked. David was shocked. Joe was shocked. David was kind of being a little bit too much after, in my opinion. He says, well, during it, he was like talking it up and being like, hey, I'm going to win this. Or Joe, if I win, I'll still take you on the award, or the reward. People were rolling their eyes at it like, David, you're coming off a little too cocky here. Everybody's shocked, though, that David won, or that Joe won, my apologies. David then's like, I should have won that challenge. Everybody's name's on the block, and I should have won that challenge. It could be me tonight. Like, David just, not how you handle it. But we get to the people that Joe takes on reward with him. First guy he names is Mitch. Shout out to Joe once again, just being the guy to always put your hand on the back and say, if you need a lift me up moment, Joe's got you. Joe is somebody that I think, if you let get to the end, he has a lot of good relationships with everybody on the jury. I don't see, like, you look right now at the jury, Cedric, Chrissy, and later this evening we'll talk about another. Cedric and Chrissy, though, hasn't burned bridges with them. Yes, they might have not been in his alliance, but he hasn't really burned bridges with them. So I think Joe stands a good chance with the jury at the moment. So he goes Mitch, he goes Shaheen, he goes Eva. But the big one to me is Mitch. Mitch has kind of just been on the outs. He's needed kind of a hand in the game, and Joe sort of extends it. We get back though to camp here. David was upset. Mary was consoling David. Kyle sees this and is like, I'm not gonna say, but it kind of looked like maybe they're a little close. Mary and David both are really paranoid, really worried, thinks it's going to be one of the two. They say, hey, we just got to get everybody to vote on Mitch. We got to get Mitch out because it'll save us for another day. We want to work with Star, so we got to get Star on our side. Star comes up to them and throws out Shaheen's name, but will also vote for Mitch just to keep the numbers. So Star is an interesting one to me. Star, is seemingly starting to make good alliances, but Star also just hasn't really done anything in terms of winning the game potential. A very interesting case there with Star. Then we get to the merge feast, or not the merge feast, the reward feast, and Mitch throws out David's name, says, hey, we got to get David out. Then we get a montage of Shaheen's like, I've been planting seeds for days. I've been telling people, hey, he's trying to run a boss to rob type of game. Like, he's doing this, he's doing that. Big time potential credit Shaheen could take if David were to happen to go. David and Mary then come to Eva and really start to push the Mitch agenda. Kyle says to Eva that, hey, I might go for David, like, it's possible. So Eva's in the middle of all of this, kind of really where Eva wants to go, because I think Joe's just going to follow Eva here. I don't think Joe's really going to lead it. Mitch or David seem to be the votes going into Tribal. We get to Tribal, and once again, Camilla makes a jury comment. She says that if she was on the jury, she probably would not vote for David. Basically is what she said. She said it much nicer that, and then Star basically summarized it by saying, hey, she's saying, like, if you're out there and she's on the jury, you ain't winning. And Star's right. That's basically what Camilla's saying. But we get to the Tribal, and Mitch gets a vote, then David, then Mitch, then David, then David, then David, then Mitch, and then David. David lost the vote, and we were done. David is going home. I got to make a ranking now. That's going to be fun. Last week with David, I had him at 6th. I had him at 6th. This week, obviously, he finished at 9th. So David, his season is done. You look at the remaining people, right? There is kind of some lingering strong 5 guys, or strong 5 guys plus Eva around. Is that a group? Kyle, is he gonna maybe just more so commit with Camilla at the moment? I don't know. But once again, and I've had it this way for a while, I think number 1 for me has got to be Camilla. Number 2 last week was Mary. I don't mind that being Mary this week. Mary's was attached to David. David's out. Mary poses little to no threat at the moment. Star was my 3. She was the GOAT. I don't know if I like that. I do like maybe... I got to put Joe at 4. Joe's just got to be my 4. I just can't see Joe making it to the final, but if he does, he wins. Shaheen, I think Shaheen, last week he was at 5. This week he's got to be at 5. Eva, last week she was at 8. I don't know here. Kyle, Camilla, Mary, maybe Mitch. I don't know, really. You'd have to get somebody trying to take a shot at Joe. I'm going to put her at 6th. Star, we'll put Star at 7th. Kyle, I have Kyle at 7th from last week and 8th this week. And then I think Mitch is next week's boot. Yeah, Mitch. It's been a... Oh, I skipped 3. Okay, Mitch, you're not 9th. You're actually 8th. Which means, Kyle, you're still 7th from last week. I can't have Joe. Who do I feel better about than Joe? Star? Yeah, I think I gotta have Star just going in as the GOAT there at 3. Yeah. There we go. So, we have Mitch at 8. Eva at 6, Mary at 2, Star at 3, Shaheen at 5, Camilla at 1, Joe at 4, and Kyle at 7. So, obviously you guys know I've been big so far into this Camilla-Kyle duo. I really think one of those two are going to win. Kyle is the one that seems to be maybe playing a little bit too hard at the moment. Camilla's the more under-the-radar one, so I do like Camilla's chances. But yeah. Anyways, thank you for watching. I will see you all next time. If you haven't already, make sure you check out some of the videos already posted on my channel from this week. The draft videos, WrestleMania videos last week, and then tomorrow, which I guess is actually today at this point, another mock draft. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.